Well, how we doing, VHR? Just wrapped up watching Blizzard's production from GameCon involving the latest content release. Elements that I want to talk about that I'm pretty excited about. Overall, the new areas look amazing. It looks like we're going to have an entire new continent that's going to be really, really cool in its production. Elements that are interesting is that they're talked about doing a pre-raid area that's going to allow us to be able to immediately engage ourselves into the war against the Burning Legion. And that's going to transition from that point towards multiple dungeons, raids, and eventually they're going to be looking at doing a concept weapon system, which is really neat, that is going to be upgradable through use. It seems to be able to be upgradable through multiple different areas, including PvE and PvP. It also has multiple skins and multiple tones that the artists have been complimented on by the lead designer, which will allow you to be able to have a really unique look for the weapon. And each class actually, and it seems each role is going to have that ability too, which each one of them. So that's really a really interesting approach for customization that's going to be available for everybody. They're also going to have a Heroes Hall, which is going to be really neat. Each group is going to have their own Champions Hall, basically, where you're going to go and it's where everything's going to happen as you go from level 100 to 110 and then you upgrade. Now, the Champions of the Hall, they described it along the lines of being something very similar to that of like a round table, Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur approach to it, versus where in the garrisons we have all these different followers and whatnot. You're going to have less, but the idea is to be able to do more, and it's going to be directly relative to the interactions that you're going to be able to present into the world. Dungeons, they showed 6. I personally am hoping that we get to have more than that, but the imagery that they showed as far as the artistic renderings and also the computer generated ones of the dungeons looks awesome. I can't wait to start running those. If they have the same kind of impact like they're supposed to in development for your play strategy and your approach as role, I think it's going to be a really good approach. And then after that, they started talking about raids. So they're going to keep the approach that they used in WOD as far as an initial release pre-raid, where we're taking on the Legion and we're going to be working forward. The idea is going to be 7 bosses in the first release, and then they're going to follow it up with 10. Hopefully they won't make the same mistake like they did with BRF and allow it to get some time for the normal and heroic guilds to be able to progress all the way through it and get some reps on it in total. And then after that, they're going to follow with another one called Suramar's Palace, where Gul'dan will be the final boss that you have to fight, and 10 bosses will be present in it. Additional information that they ended up throwing on included that they wanted us to be able to go and work on a new class. So the new class approach is going to put us into a position where we're going to be able to play a Demon Hunter, and the Demon Hunter is going to be 2 different ways. It's going to be a DPS, and it's also going to be a tank class. Very interesting approaches. Basically, the metamorphosis is what they highlighted. You'll transition into the tank. The attacks that they've shown were really neat. They have some PvP options too, involving your ability to be able to run, for example, and go through walls, see through walls, things like that. So there's quite a few elements, and I suggest you check them out because it seems like it's going to be really cool. The class is going to be a hero class, and it's going to be introduced where you got to kind of do like you did with the monk, where you have a starting area, you get some pass stuff, where it's going to give you an opportunity to be able to see the history of the Demon Hunter and then also then level it forward. I think it being a tank class too is going to put it in a position where you're going to get a lot of really great Qs overall. So that's really nice in its own. Next element after that is going to be PvP. So they're going for round 3 as far as how they're going to do the PvP system. You're no longer going to have the earned gear like they did before. What it's going to be now is it's basically a development of the tune in the PvP element as you earn points, and it puts you into a position that allows you to be able to get abilities. So you're going to have kind of like I guess you could say almost a tier leveling system that's going to allow you to be able to have a bunch of features that are specifically associated to the ability for individuals to do things that are PvP focused. So an element that's really neat. It really drew my interest into it. I think that overall it's going to give us some real good life in that area. As far as how it'll play out, we'll see, because some of the stuff they were talking about were really interesting, and we always know how like transitioning between the two different areas are going to be their own, you know, their own challenge for production and whatnot. Overall, they did not give a date for release, but they did say beta would be coming this year, so you're probably going to see open beta signups that'll be associated with like BlizzCon, with the release being near, for example, when the movie comes out. They also said that the initial pre-raid area, the siege area, when the Legion attacks and we go after them at the Isles, the Broken Isles, I believe they said it was. At that point, you're going to be able to engage. So that's probably going to be a pre-release with a pre-raid. So that's probably how they're going to tie it all in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please click like below, subscribe. Please enjoy the channel and all the other videos that I posted, and have a great day. Bless y'all.